tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. Okay, we are talking about sharing of the merit. So today will be the last day for this topic. So I have a question, some question from the students, which are related to sharing of the merit. Is it true that we must not hold funeral wake for a child? So the first question. And another one is that senior relative can attend funeral. I spoke to a funeral director, and that is what I was told. It's a two question. Is it true that we must not hold funeral wake for a child? I think that is a Chinese tradition, right? Chinese tradition. And also, I think some country also have such a I would say that such a culture or tradition. I don't know why. Of course, it is if you can hold funeral wake for your child, it's good, right? It's good. Actually, there's not mention about whether you want to hold funeral wake for a child or not. It's up to you, right? It's up to you. If you want to follow tradition, then you shouldn't hold funeral wake. If you want to follow your compassion, your compassion to your child, you can hold funeral wake, right? To pay respect to your child or to show compassion, right? So the most important thing is to share the merit. Normally, we hold funeral wake for a few days, right? Sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 days. Some people do 5 days. It depends on your desire normally, right? Even if you don't want to follow tradition, even you don't need to hold any funeral wake, right? The most important thing is to share the merit according to Theravada tradition. So therefore, it is up to you whether you want to hold funeral wake for a child or not, right? Another one is that senior relative can attend funeral. This is also a tradition, right? So the tradition, maybe senior relative or senior citizens, for them it will be very difficult for them to see such a, I would say that a happy occasion, right? Sad occasion. So therefore, I think that tradition prevent senior relative not to attend funeral wake. So these are the tradition actually, or culture. It is up to you whether you want to hold funeral wake for the child or whether senior citizen want to attend funeral wake. It doesn't matter. So therefore, I think as a Buddhist, you must remember that we share the merit out of compassion, right? Because of compassion and love to your relative. So this is a final moment in our life, right? Final moment in our life. According to religion, according to traditions, according to cultures, we may have a different funeral wake, different funeral tradition. So as a Buddhist, the most important thing is we pay respect to our departed relatives and we show our gratitude to them, and we share the merit out of compassion because of our compassion to them. That's the main thing. There's no mention about whether we must hold funeral wake for a child or not, right? Whether senior citizen can or not, it doesn't matter. So, as a monk, normally we are free from tradition, culture. So therefore, we are free. Normally, when we want to do something, we look at conditions, or appropriate time, or appropriate the place. Suppose when we want to take a trip, we look at it is a good time, or whether air ticket is cheap, right? Cheap or not. Then we decide to go to take a trip. Normally, most people, they look at whether it is a good time according to astrology, right? According to culture. You are not free normally, right? Most of the people. So there are a lot of discussion, a lot of question whether you face your house to some direction, right? Some people think that facing your house to the east direction is blessing. Facing to the west direction is a bad omen or like that. So there are such a controversial and also astrological issues, right? Issues. As a true Buddhist, it doesn't matter whether you face your house to certain direction. The most important thing is whether you have a fresh air, right? Whether you have a sunlight, whether it is a good environment. These are most important things, right? So don't pay attention to astrological things and also tradition, So if you are following all these tradition, all these astrological claims, I think, so you are not free, right? You're not free. So here also same thing, right? Same thing. Recently, I have a discussion with one of my friend, Buddhist nun. She went to build a monastery. Then she said that she was suggested not to build a certain number, certain number, like a odd number, like a 26, or whether 47, 48, like that. So these are the astrological, claims. If you are following all these tradition and culture, your mind is not free, right? Not free. Especially when you get married, normally you consult with the astrology, right? Normally it's quite common. So you're trying to choose a pleasant date, pleasant days, right? Which is a auspicious day for you. Even you get on that auspicious day, if you do not get along with your spouse, you are divorced, right? You are divorced, It's important not to follow all these astrological issues, And I was ordained, at the age of 20 and 1 month. 1 month. So I purposely choose on that day because it's easier to count, easier to count. 20 years plus 1 month. So when I look at the calendar, it is an auspicious day. It's a bad day according to tradition. But I do not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Actually, I feel nothing for that. But still, some people may think that if I ordain on that day, I will disturb, right? I will disturb. It is unlucky for me. No, I don't think. Actually, I never pay attention to such astrological claims. So for that reason, as a monk, it's free, right? It's free. We are liberated from such a from culture, tradition, astrological claims like that. So here also, we have to know the most important thing, sharing of the merit. We share the merit to auto compassion because we have a compassionate to our departed relatives. We want to remember them and we pay their gratitude, right? By sharing of the merit. Also, I have another question. Can merit be shared to unborn fetus? An unborn baby who may have died before birth due to miscarriage or abortion or other reason. Already died, right? Already died. We can call it departed relative. We can share our merit to our unborn child, to our unborn child. So there are some people who name, their unborn child to share the merit. Recently we have a sharing of the merit. Last Sunday, second Sunday, 2nd April. So we have a transfer of the merit. Some people, they dedicate their good deed to unborn child. It is a good thing, right? It shows you have a compassion, you have a love to unborn child. Because of that, you share the merit. Another one is if the sharing of merit confined to only our past relative and all beings, can the merit be shared with the living relative? I think that is a very important question, right? Important question. Some people dedicate their good deed to the baby who is going to be going to rebirth, right? Going to be born. It's also a good thing, right? You show your compassion to your the baby who is going to come into this world. In other words, welcoming, right? Welcoming you, baby. So the question is very, very good. Can the merit be shared with the living relative? I will say that yes. Yes, we can dedicate, we can share our good deed to our relative. So actually, I will quote 3 sutta. Citation of following 3 suttas from Pali Canon are the tangible facts about sharing of the merit to living relative. Because when we talk about sharing of the merit, we normally think that we share to our departed relative. Of course, this is quite common, right? It's quite common. We can also share our good deed to living people, living relative as well. So one sutta is Kaladana Sutta from Anguttara Nikaya. So in that sutta, the Buddha talk about 5 timely gifts. 5 timely gifts. Donation to a visitor, donation to a traveler, like that. So there are 5 timely gifts. Actually, we have already learned that. So in that sutta, the Buddha said that those who rejoice in such a deed, or who provide the donor their service. So that means somebody is doing timely gift. Then somebody who rejoice such a good deed, number 1, right? Number 2, who provide their service, helping, in those donation. So here, anumodhanti, rejoice, feel very happy. Those 2 people do not miss out on the offering. They too partake of the merit. The donor give 5 type of timely gift to the visitor, to the traveler, like that. Somebody rejoice in their merit. They too partake of merit. They also get the merit. So that's the reason why we say rejoicing in other merit is a kind of good deed, right? If you feel happy by seeing that somebody is doing good deed, it's a kind of good deed. And also the one who is helping such type of donation also consider is a good deed, right? So when you look at the sutta, it's quite clear that we can share the merit, right, to living beings, with our friends, with our relatives who are still alive, right? Suppose you do good deed, you give that information to your friends, to your relatives. If your relative is very happy, then they get the share of the merit. How about if they are not happy? How? They will not get share of the merit, right? Even they accumulate unwholesome deed. So therefore, it is important to use our wisdom to who we are going to share, right? If you are sharing someone, sharing the information on your donation to someone who will not rejoice and appreciate, not good, right? So they will not accumulate any good deed. They will not, right? They will not. So we have to know. Then another sutta is from Nanda Mada Sutta. So this one also we already learned. When we talk about 6 criteria of our dana, right? 6 criteria of our dana. 3 factors from the donor side, another 3 factors from recipient side. So I share this sutta to you. I don't know whether you have read. It's a very interesting one. Nanda Mata is one of the well-known lay disciples of the Buddha. She attained jhanas. She is a non-returner. One time, she was chanting Parayana Sutta. Parayana Sutta is a well-known sutta, long discourses mentioned in Sutta Nipata. She was chanting, reciting. So by that time, the great king Vasavana was traveling on the sky. So he hear chanting of Nanda Mata. She stopped for a while and she listened to chanting. After chanting finished, the king, the great Deva king Vasavana appreciate, saying, sadhu, 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 well done, well done, well done. Appreciate, right? Feel happy, rejoice. So that means the king Vasavana, higher being, divine being, right? So the moment he rejoices, chanting, he accumulates a lot of good deed, The Nanda Mother heard that the voice, she said, who are you? And Vasavana said, I am the great king or Deva, the great Deva king Vasavana. So, of course, Nanda Mother very happy. And the Deva king Vasavana said to Nanda Mother, tomorrow, before they have eaten breakfast, the Sangha of Bhikkhus headed by Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana welcome to Velukandaki. Velukandaki is the town Nanda Mata is living. So therefore, she was named as the Velukandaki Nanda Mata. Velukandaki Nanda Mata. So, the Sangha of Bhikkhus welcome to your town. You should serve them and dedicate the offering to me. Dedicate the offering to me. Mama dakinan adiyasi. You dedicate to me for that offering. That will be your guest gift to me. So here you can imagine that the Deva king is higher being, higher than human being, right? He listened to the chanting, very happy. So in return for that, he gave information to Nanda Mata. Tomorrow morning, the Bhikkhu Sangha will come to your town and try to give food to them, breakfast to them. Then after doing good deed, dedicate that good deed to me, So that will be your gift or your guest gift to me. So therefore, after doing Sanghika we dedicate our good deed to the Deva, right? Divine beings. We are always chanting Aka Satta Chapo Mata Deva Naga Mahedika, right? Debi Ame Nurakantu. Like that. We dedicate our good deed to the Deva as well. Normally, we dedicate our good deed the Deva who are living in our house, in our temple, right? Normally. Nanda Mata said to the Sangha the next day, headed by Venerable Sariputta, Bande, let wherever merit I may have gained by this act of giving, be dedicated to the happiness of the great king Vasavana. So actually, Nanda Mata dedicated her good deed to the Deva king Vasavana. Dedicate. So dedication of the merit or sharing of the merit, right? She dedicate that good deed for the great king. So when you look at this suttas from Anguttara Nikaya, it's quite clear that we can dedicate our good deed to the living relatives, including the devas, right? Including the devas. So therefore, some people do good deed on their, dedicate good deed by dedicating their loved one on their bad day, right? Their bad days. So this is a kind of sharing of the merit or dedication of the merit. Dedication of the merit. Another sutta from Mahaparinibbana Sutta. Mahaparinibbana Sutta. So actually, Mahaparinibbana Sutta is collection of many episodes or many occasions. It talk about the last day of the Buddha, the last maybe 2 years, the last 2 years of the Buddha, especially the last moment of the Buddha. Then the Buddha was invited to a newly big house in the Patalipota. Nowadays, Patna, Patna. So by that time, Patalipota is a new city, new town, created by King Ajatasattu, and his prime minister was Sakara. So they plan the city systematically with the road, with the main road, with the houses for the minister, houses for the rich people, houses for the poor people, like that. So they systematically making a new city. So it became the capital city of ancient India, King Ashoka, right? King Ashoka. Nowadays it is called Patna. So after, on that occasion, the Prime Minister, Osakara, invited the Buddha and Sangha and the new houses, housewarming ceremony, right? We can say that, housewarming ceremony. Then they offer food to the Sangha, to the Buddha, headed by the Sangha, headed by the Buddha. Then on that occasion, the Buddha gave a Dhamma talk. At the end of the Dhamma talk, he shared the merit. So in his Dhamma talk, he said that in wherever place the wise man make his home, he should feed the virtual leader of the holy life. He should feed the virtual leader of the holy life. If you are a Buddhist, you should invite Buddhist monks and nuns. If you are a Christian, you should invite priests, Christian priests. If you are Muslim, you can invite Maulawi, right? Maulawi, like that. Wherever Deva there are who report this offering, they will pay him respect and honor for this. So here, dakina. So sharing of the merit. Actually, this is a sharing of the merit. After doing good deed, you dedicate that good deed to the Deva who are living in that house. New house. So when the Prime Minister Osakara is making a big city, Patalipota, the Deva, so they are also choosing their own place. According to the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, higher Deva, they choose higher places. They have a higher places. And lower Deva, they got lower places, like that, according to their karma. So here, after offering food to the virtual people, they share the merit who are living in that house. So by doing so, the Deva will pay him and respect and honor for this. They trumpet for him as a mother for her son. He for whom Deva trumpet ever happy is. So when you dedicate your godi to the Deva, so they will respect, they will look after you. Those who are look after the Deva, so you'll be happy all the time. Happy all the time. So when you look at this Sutta, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, so we can dedicate to the Deva who are living, right? Living relative. So living relative. In the Pali Canon, the word dakina means offering or donating something to somebody, especially the virtual people. So the point here is, when you look at these suttas from the Pali Canon, so we can share the merit to the living relative, right? Living relative. So not only to our departed relatives, and also after doing good deed, you can dedicate to your son, to your parents, right? To your parents, to your brother and sisters. But if your family member will not be happy for your good deed, do not share, right? Do not share, you know. That's very important, right? Okay. Up to now, any question? Any question? Okay. Can you use microphone? Yeah. Okay. Can you use microphone? Yeah.
Good evening, Bante.
Yeah.
I just feel a bit confused as compared to this Janu Soni Sutta, which says that only those, those who were born in the realm of hell, animals, human being, and heavenly deva cannot accept cannot receive those merits. So as compared to these suttas, who is actually sharing the merits with the deva and the living beings, so how does this work out, the contradictions?
It's not contradiction. Actually, Janusoni Sutta talk about sharing of the merit to departed one, departed relatives. But here, talk about living relative, right? Anyone, so who rejoice your good deed. So they will get the share of the merit. Janusoni Sutta just talk about the departed relative. Suppose your relative died. If your relative was born as a human being, right? Human being. So he will go into the mother's womb for 10 months, right? 10 months. Normally we share the merit after a few days. So your relative may not know what you are doing, right? What you are doing. So that is what we are talking about, departed relative. If your relative was born as a Peta, he or she will be stay around. So when you share the merit or when you do good deed, he or she will rejoice, feel very happy, appreciate. Then he or she will get the share of the merit, right? Merit. So Janusoni talk about sharing of the merit to departed relative. But here we are talking about dedication of the merit to living relative. Not only relative to anyone, right? Anyone. According to Buddhism, everyone is relative in our previous life. Even animals, right? Even your own dog, your cat, even some insect, they will be your relative in your previous life in samsara. So therefore, we when we dedicate our good deed to somebody and we share the news that I do this good deed for you, then that if that person rejoice, feel happy, and they will get share of the merit, right? Of the merit. So therefore, some people do good deed, dedicating for their best friend, right? So he or she may be away. Then he will said that I do this good deed for you, right? Then the moment you share that news that you do good deed for him, so you're very happy, right? So that happiness is a good deed. That happiness is good deed. So before we share the news, we must know that whether he or she will be happy. That's very important, right? That's very important. For that reason, some children, they do good deed for their parents, especially when they are going to die. When they are going to die. So actually, the children do good deed and telling their parents, so this is your good deed. We do good deed for you, you know. If the parent feel very happy for that good deed, it will help him or her to get a better existences. At least they will get confidence, you know, to die like that. It's not contradict, you know. These are the talk about dedicating to. So therefore, one student asked the question: is there any difference between sharing of the merit and transferring of the merit and dedication of the merit, right? So when I write transferring of the merit, the word transferring of the merit on my Facebook, so one of the scholars write to me personally, you know, on the through messenger. It is not nice to use the word transferring of the merit. You know. We cannot transfer the merit to somebody. Instead, we should use dedication of the merit. Of course, dedication of the merit is safer to use, right? Safer to use. But if we are using the word sharing of the merit or transferring of the merit as a metaphor, metaphoric usage, it's okay, right? It's okay. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. No question. Then I want to talk about one soda. One soda is a very short one. We call it Buddhist soda. Buddhist soda. Buddha means sand. Sharing of the merit. 5 duties of a saint, according to, we can say, Indian tradition or Buddhist tradition, right? Buddhist tradition. Bhikkhus, considering 5 prospects, mother and father wish for a son to be born in their family. Actually, Chinese, I think most of the people, right, Buddhists or non-Buddhists, they want the son, you know, the son. But nowadays, I think people became, I think, educated. They don't care whether son or daughter, right? Son or daughter. Some people even want the daughter to be firstborn because the daughter normally look after parents. The son normally they don't care, you know. They don't care. But parents still want the son, you know, to be born in their family. Maybe because of cultural influence, right? Cultural influence. So here, parent they wish for a son. What 5? Number 1, haven't been supported by nurse he will support us. We support our son. So when he grown up, he will support us. That is, of course, the wish of the parents. So here, we translate the word Buddha as a son, as a son. For me, personally, it's not correct, I think. It's not correct. Buddha me, it indicates the children, not only son, but also the daughter, the daughter. But tradition, normally, we have a, I think, cultural influence in the Indian society. So therefore, the commentary trying to interpret as a son, as a son. But in Mangala Sutta, we have a usage, Buddha Darasa Sangho, right? Supporting the son on the wife is a blessing. If you translate literally, it doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. The word Buddha Dara, Buddha means the son, Dara means the wife. So that means you shouldn't support to your daughter, right? You shouldn't support your husband, husband. It doesn't make any sense. But in that place, the commentary mentioned that Buddha means not only the son, but also the daughter. Not only that Dara means not only the wife, but also husband. So we should translate as a supporting to your children, to your spouse, to your spouse. It is a blessing. It is a blessing. Like that, like that. So we should interpret the same way, supporting, translating the word Buddha as the children, not only the son, but also the daughter as well, right? The commentary mentioned one thing. So when the Buddha is talking, so the Buddha used the word bhikkhu. Bhikkhu literally means bhikkhus. Normally the Buddha used the word the Orients, bhikkhu. If we translate literally, it means bhikkhus. So actually in the Orient, not only bhikkhus, but also bhikkhunis, but also lay devotees. So therefore, the commentary interpret the word bhikkhu doesn't indicate only bhikkhus, but also bhikkhunis as well as lay, female and male devotees. Everyone. The commentary mentioned in that way. Here also, even though the Buddha used the word Buddha, it means not only the son, but also the daughter. So we have to interpret, we should interpret in such a way. So because of cultural influence, I think, so most translators, they use the word son, right? Son. Some country, they use motherland, right? Their own country as a motherland. So that means, how about for fathers? Right? Like that. Some country, they use fatherland, their own country, right? Like that. So we have to know that. So actually, I follow Bhagavad translation. Actually, it means the duty of, 5 duty of children, 5 duty of children. Having been supported by us, he will support us. Number 2, he will do work for us. One day, he will take over our business like that. Number 3, our family lineage will be extended. Our family lineage will be extended. According to culture, Chinese culture, Indian culture, they think that only the son can carry off their lineage, right? Chinese, right? Nowadays, stay with that culture, right? It's very influenced. Here also same thing. Actually, if you have a children, whether son or daughter, it doesn't matter. So they will carry out your lineage, right? Lineage. I think it is also the same thing to Westerners, right? Westerners. When somebody get married, they have to receive husband name, no? Husband name. This is a cultural influence. Cultural influence. He will manage the inheritance. Number 5. Or else, when we have passed on, he will give an offering on our behalf. Here also the word dakina, the word dakina. When we die, so they will give an offering on our behalf. So that me will share the merit. Will share the merit. So this is a fight duty of a child. Fight duty of a child. So therefore I translate the child. No? When we die, then our child will share the merit. So these are the 5 duty of a child. The reason why I mention this is I want to show comparison between different translations. Different translations. In Singalavada Sutta, Digha Nikaya, Sutta number 31, so this is a well-known sutta. 5 duty of a son can be formed. 5 duty of a son can be formed. 5 duty of a child can be formed. Singalavada Sutta. 5 duty of a parents also can be formed. 5 duty of a teacher also can be formed. So the 5th duty, Petanan, Kalinkatanan, Takinan, Anupatasami, is translated in different way by different translators. So I want to show this. Even between Buddhist scholars, there is 2 interpretations, no? 2 interpretations. So this is a translation of Mr. Maurice Walsh, translator of Digha Nikaya. So when you translate a paragraph from Singalavada Sutta, he said that, after my parents' death, I will distribute gift on their behalf. Maybe it me share the merit. After distributing gift to the virtuous people, then I will share the merit on their behalf, right? It is the same Pali phrase as found in Buddhist Sutta that I earlier said that. But this Sutta talk about the duty of a son, duty of a child. Thus, the pronunciation is changed from he to I. So that means the same, the same. In the Buddhist Sutta, in Khutra Nikaya, the Buddha talk about 5 expectations of the parents. In Singhala Sutta, the Buddha talk about 5 duties of a child. Same. Only then. Here, so this is a Myanmar Pedicat Association, scholar from Myanmar. They translated Sutta, Digha Nikaya Suttas, Sutta from Digha Nikaya. Normally, Myanmar scholar, they follow the commentary explanation, right? Commentary explanation. I hope that you still remember that. What is Theravada? The Pali Canon, especially 4 Nikayas, Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Saundra Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, 4 Nikayas, and also some of the texts from Khuddaka Nikaya. We call it they are early Buddhism, early Buddhism. The commentaries, Visuddhimagga, some of the texts from Khuddaka Nikaya. So if we follow all these statements, Theravada Buddhism. So that's the difference. So Myanmar Pitaka Association, they follow commentary explanation. So therefore, we can call it they are every inch Theravada. Every inch Theravada. So they translate this paragraph as a I shall offer alms on behalf of the departed parents, on behalf of departed parents, and share the merit. Share the merit. Here it is important that I'm not saying all the statements in the commentary are correct. I'm not saying that, right? Some may be correct, some may not be correct. The Bhikkhu Bodhi also follow commentary explanation. He used the word on our behalf. When we have passed on, he will give an offering on our behalf and share the merit, right? When you look at all these translations, they follow the commentary explanation, they follow Tiragota Sutta, they follow Betavat too, like that. But here is another scholar, early scholars who translated Anguttara Nikaya, Mr. Huwat. He will make an offering to the Petas when we are dead. So that means here, make offering to the Petas directly, directly. So regarding with the, actually here, E.N. Huwa is early Buddhist scholar, so therefore some of the statements, some of the translation may not be correct. So therefore, Mr. Pierton, in his Sutta Discovery, Volume 2, he said that many scholars have voiced the serious and numerous inaccuracies in the Huwa's translation of Anguttara Nikaya. Actually, we are not blaming to the scholar because it's early, pioneer, one of the pioneer translators from Pali to English. So that means his translation to this paragraph may not be correct. So he will not follow Theravada tradition. He will not follow commentary explanation. But he translate literally. Make an offering to the Petas. Peta. And also, one of the Pali scholar, Asma Akacheta, he wrote a small book honoring the departed, a Buddhist perspective. So the same paragraph he translates as to continually make offerings to the departed. Make an offering to the departed. Direct offering to the Peta. Direct offering to the Petas. So according to him, according to Asma Akacheta, all these lines refer to direct offering to the Petas, to the departed one. So therefore, most of the scholars, Pali scholars, including Bhikkhu Bodhi, they follow commentary explanation. In other words, they follow Theravada tradition. But Asma Akacheta, even though he is a Theravada Pali scholar, he do not follow commentary explanation. So if we analyze all these translation of the same single Pali phrase from two sutta, from Buddhist Sutta and Singalavada Suttas, it became quite clear that Bande Agacheda and E.N. Woodward translated these sutta to suit their opinions. To suit their opinions. It contradicted Theravada interpretation. I will not say that it is not correct. It's not correct. When you look at the original Pali word, I think that it can be interpreted in two ways. Direct offering to the Pitas, or make an offering on their behalf and dedicate that good deed to the Pitas. So here we have two interpretations. Following are a few references made by some scholars to interpret offering the physical items is in line with Buddhism. According to them, it is in line with Buddhism. Offering to physical items, food, clothing, and also many other things to the Pitas. According to them, in line with the Buddhism. Not Theravada Buddhism. Huh? According to that, they are not using the word Theravada, As I earlier said that, Buddhism and Theravada Buddhism may be different. Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, different, We have to know that. Therefore, the most important thing is to go to early Buddhism, the original Buddhism. It is nothing but Nikayas. Sorry. So they quote a few verses from Theravada Sutta, particularly number 6. Ito denena yapinti beta kalengata tehe. So, especially Asama Akacheda, he translates that the Petas, those who have passed on, are there sustained by what is given from here. They were sustained with the food, with the clothing, what is given by here. So you make physical food and prepare for your departed relatives. Of course, when you look at these lines, if we are translating literally, it is not wrong. It's not wrong. So we can translate that. The Petas who already died, so they were sustained what is given from here, given by the human being and relative. So they quote this verse, especially this verse. So actually, when I talk about Theravada Beta, when you look at the whole story, right? The whole Beta, it's clear that not direct giving, making an offering to the Sangha and sharing out the merit, right? When we quote the whole Theravada Beta, but here he quote only one paragraph. Another one is the paragraph that mentions the fifth duty of a child from Buddha Sutta and Singalovada Sutta. So when you look at the original Pali lines, these paragraphs are rather ambiguous. It is open to two interpretations. Number one, offering to virtual religious leaders and sharing out the merit with the Petas. Number two, offering physical items to the Peta directly. It's open to two interpretations when you look at the Pali. But the commentary clearly mentioned that it's not direct offering to the Petas. Offering to the virtual people, then share the merit, right? Share the merit. If you do not want to follow Theravada tradition, or if you do not want to follow commentaries, you can translate direct offering to the Petas, right? To the Petas. Another one, the Buddha advised to the lay followers to make 5 oblations, to make 5 gifts. Some places, actually there are some places the Buddha often mentioned. But one, to relatives. So you need to make offering to the relatives. Number 2, to the guest. So you make offering to your guest. Number 3, to your departed relative. Popa Peta Pale. Popa Peta Pale. In the Pali Canon, it's not mentioned how to do it. But of course, commentary mention sharing of the merit. Then making an offering to the king. To the king, you have to give your tax, right? Nowadays, 8%, huh? 8% GST. This one, right? You have to pay it. You have to make an offering to the king, to the government, right? To the government. Another one is to the deities, to the deva. Making an offering to the Kuan Yin and also some other deva, right? Other devas. So when you look at these 5 advice for the lay devotees, number 3, right? Departed relatives. So they quote this or these references to show that we can make an offering to our petas, departed relative. The number 4, one of the 7 decline taught by the Buddha in Mahabharinippana Sutta. So in that sutta, actually, Magara kingdom is very big. Vesali, very small country, state country, like in Singapore, no? Like in Singapore. The Buddha said that if Ujjiyans who are living in Ujji, if they follow 7 disciplines or 7 advice, so they were not decline, no? They were not decline, they were prosperous. So one of them is the Buddha said to Ananda, as long as Ujji honor, respect, esteem, and venerate their traditional shrines, Chediya. Normally, Chediyas are shrine for the devas. Nowadays, I think we can interpret religious monument. Both those within the city and those outside of the city. And do not neglect the righteous appellation as given and done to them in the past. Only growth is to be better for them, not decline. So here, righteous appellation means 5 types of appellation, right? Among them, number 3 is appellation to our departed relative. So by citing all these one, they interpret that offering to Peta. Offering physical items to the Peta is in accordance with the Buddhism. In accordance with the Buddhism. I think it's okay. It's okay to interpret in such a way. But of course, if you want to follow Theravada tradition, we cannot make physical offering to the Petas. So you have to make offering to somebody and you share the merit. That is what I want to say. No? Okay, any question? Okay, no question. Then I want to go to another topic, the last topic. So up to now, we have talked about what is dana, how to do dana, recipients of our dana, things we can give, and benefit of giving, sharing of the merit. Now we talk about rejoicing in others' merit. Rejoicing in other merit. We call it patidana, patanumodana. So this will be the last topic for dana. So next week we'll talk about sila, morality and moral conduct. Rejoicing in other merit is categorized under the dana group as it is mostly related to it. Normally, rejoicing in other merit can be after somebody observing precept, right? Completing observing precept for one day, then you may share that good deed to your friend. If your friend rejoice, same thing, right? You join 1 week meditation retreat, then you accumulate a lot of good deed. Then you dedicate that good deed to your mother, right? To your mother. Your mother rejoice. Also considered as a patanumodana, right? It's also a good deed. But, so this is also commentary categorization, you know. The commentary trying to categorize patanumodana under the dana. It can be under the sila, it can be under the bhavana, right? Anything. We can share our good deed, whether dana, sila, bhavana, anything, to our departed living beings, also departed relatives. But here, according to commentary, it is categorized under the dana group. If a person rejoices and appreciates the act of good deed done by other people, it will bring transformation of a better life, particularly for a peta, for a departed one. For normal people, it will not make many different, right? It will not make many different because we, as a human being, we live on our own karma. We rejoice others people good deed. Of course, we accumulate a lot of good deed. It will not make so much difference in our life. But as a petas, it will change their life. It will change their life according to Buddhism, according to Theravada Buddhism. So for that, I want to quote one sutta, the same sutta. It's called Kaladana Sutta. The same line, right? The same line. Those who rejoice in such a good deed, or who provide other service, do not miss out an offering, and they too partake of the merit. So that means somebody do good deed, you rejoice, and also you too partake of the merit. That merit. So rejoicing in others' merits is a kind of good deed. So therefore, when somebody has a kind of attainment or established, I want to say, a kind of achievement, we normally congratulate, right? with so much joy and happiness. It is a good deed. It's a good deed. Instead of congratulating to those achievements, you have jealousy, unhappiness to see their achievement. It creates ahosandit, right? Ahosandit. So therefore, it is important to have a kind of joyous feeling. If we see, somebody attain achievement, one of the achievement, success and happiness in their life, Okay, any question? That's all.
Griffin Bante. Bante, is there any Buddhist reference to explain that we can know where our departed relative be reborn in the next realm?
In Mahaprinibbana Sutta, some of the Venerable Ananda, some people normally approach Venerable Ananda to ask where their relative was born. In earlier time, of course, the Buddha will tell them, your relative was born somewhere like that, Then people want to know, where their relative was born. So they quite often come to Venerable Ananda, and Venerable Ananda asks on behalf of them to the Buddha. The Buddha replied. And then later the Buddha said that if you are asking those questions many times, it will be very, honestly, tiring, very tiring for me. Then I will give you the mirror of the Dhamma. So if you look at the Dhamma, you will know where they was born. So the Buddha gave the mirror of the Dhamma in Mahaprinibbana Sutta. Yeah. So of course, if you have a divine eye, Devachakku, you will know it. You will know where they was born, right? Okay, any question?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, yeah. Any question? If no question, I will talk about question from students. Question from students. I often participate in the Sangika Dana at Mangalavira Buddhist Temple. Then I have a few questions on it. When I offer food to the monks, is there a protocol that I have to offer to the senior monk first, then other monks? Yeah, of course, we have a protocol here. So you should offer to the senior monks first, then to other monks. So Bante Sila is a chief monk here. I am a senior to him. So therefore, you offer to me first, then to Venerable Bante Sila. So in Buddhism, seniority is very important, right? Somebody who come and visit and senior to me, and you should start to him first, right? So that is a protocol here. A protocol everywhere. It should be everywhere, not only in this temple and every other place as well, right? As well. Then when the monks are chanting, after food is being offered, what should I be thinking about in my mind? Very good question, right? It's a good question. Do I think about the past relative I am sharing merit with? Or can I, in my mind, say that I want to share the merit of this dana with my family and living relative? So what you have to think about while the monks are chanting. So for that, you need to know what we are chanting here in our temple. So I will call it blessing verses during the food offering in our temple. Normally, we recite two verses. So when you know what we are chanting, I think you will know what you have to do, what you have to do. Echitam patitam tong sankhipamewa sapamewa samechatu sabbe purendu sankappa chando panaraso yata. Actually, this verse is a from Dhammapara. When somebody offer something to Pechika Buddha, you know Pechika Buddha, right? We call it silent Buddha, silent Buddha, Pechika Buddha. Normally they give this blessing, to the people. May all your desires and wishes come true. May all your intention be fulfilled, like the moon on the full moon day. Making a wish, right? Making a wish. So what you have to do is just listen to what we are chanting, knowing that the monks are making wish for you, right? Making wish for you. Here, all your desire and wishes come true. May all your intention be fulfilled, like the moon on the full moon day. Another one, Ayuraroga Sampati, Saka Sampati Mewacha, Tornipana Sampati Iminate Samechadu. This one is not mentioned in the Pali Canon. Not mentioned in the Pali Canon. Maybe it's composed in later time. By this, may you achieve longevity, good health, a rebirth in a happiness, the attainment of Nibbana as well. Here also making a wish, right? Making a wish. So may you have a longevity, a good health, a rebirth in a heavens, a good destination, the attainment of Nibbana. So these are good wishes, right? Good wishes. So when you know what we are chanting, you know how to keep your mind, right? Just close your eye and listen to the chanting and try to know that monks are making a wish for you. So you don't need to think about your departed one, right? We already share the merit, right? Before you offer the food. So therefore, you have to listen mindfully. That's all, right? Mindfully, that's all. So you must know that we are making a wish. According, San Tempe, they will chant different verses. Most of the time, normally, making a wish for the donors, making a wish for the donor, as well as the sharing of the merit, and also maybe dedication of the merit to the deva as well. Deva as well. Okay, so that's all. We already completed dana topic. Then I hope that you know what is dana according to Buddhism, right? According to Buddhism. You know how to share the merit and also the purpose of sharing of the merit. I hope that. If you have a question, maybe one question, if you want. I think everyone is willing to go back. Okay, let's see, call it a day. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagava Paragata Kecho Paragato Bala Viriya Samangi Dan Sukatan Saranata Mupemi Ragavi Ragama Ninjama Sokan Dhamma Masanga Dhamma Patikulan Madura Mimamba Gunan Suvipadan Dhamma Miman Saranatamu Yata cha dena mahapala mahu chatusu susisu purisam Attacha Bogala Dhammadasate Sangami Mansaranata Mupemi Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.